Hello everyone, happy Tuesday or happy Monday if you had yesterday off. Maybe today is your Monday like it is mine. Let me know you're hopping on today and say hello. How was your long weekend? I would love to hear from you. I'm gonna come up here and grab some comments so I can see who's joining us today. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had some fun. So a long weekend usually means some time to get things in order around the house. We didn't have any major plans. We weren't out of town. We just hung around home, watched some volleyball on TV and in person at our local high school. So that was fun. Did a few shopping things. So all of the fall clothes are out. So we had to do a little run through for the girls to get them ready for sweater season. So that was about it. Good morning. Hello, Pam. We have Carol here. Hello, Deb. Good to see you. Dawn is here. Thank you, Whitney, for getting the comments up. I can see those. Great. Rachel's here. Good morning. Hello, Martha. Perry's here. Hotter than ever in Colorado. Wow. It was, kind of last week. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. We had some really hot weather around here, too. So I know for everyone, it does not turn to fall quite yet. So we're going to see some warm temperatures as we keep getting into the fall season. So let's see. Debbie, you did your annual float trip for the 12th year. Does that mean you were floating in a body of water like a lake or an ocean? Or were you having root beer floats? What was your float trip? Sounds fun either way. Good morning, Jamie. Hello, Jill. Hi, Susie. Tracy's here. Mindy. Oh, officially a week since Mindy moved her daughter to college. Still recovering. My heart goes out to you for sure. My daughter is a 7th grader, and I'm already thinking about that sad day ahead, but this is what we prepare them for, right? To go spread their wings and do great things. Oh, okay. Debbie said it is a river float. That sounds fun. All right, you guys. Well, it is Tuesday, but it's a little bit different because we are not releasing any new products. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of our Labor Day sale through the weekend. That ended at 9 o'clock this morning. So maybe you grabbed a few things from your wish list. But we are preparing for a very big month at Tailored Expressions. It's our birthday. If you hadn't heard, or if maybe this is your first year spending with Tailored Expressions, September is our birthday month. So I don't know about you guys, but we like to party all month long. So it is a big month, but today is our day to kind of introduce and get everybody excited about the birthday release that is coming next week. So today I'm just going to be making some fun projects that are birthday themed. And we are going to talk about our freebies for this month, which is always a big topic of conversation. So what is our $100 gift with purchase, and what's our every order freebie that comes when you place an order? And I'll be using those to create a project because I also have another very special birthday. Not only did if you consider Tailored Expressions my first baby, it was born in September, but also my actual live first child was born in September, and she is celebrating her golden birthday. She'll be 13 on the 13th. I'm going to have a teenager. I can't believe it. Can you believe it, Whitney?
No, I'm so sad for us.
I know. She's kind of like the least teenager I know.
Yes.
She's just really sweet and
so grown up and responsible.
Very grown up, very responsible and helpful, and yes, all the things. So anyway, she is turning 13, and we're going to make a project for her today to kind of get us all in the birthday spirit. So let's first take a look at the freebies that are happening this month. I'm going to get you guys down to the workspace in front of me. Oh yes, Jamie says it's our sweet 16. She always gets nostalgic at birthday time. Jamie has been here for every single birthday that we have celebrated, so it's definitely a nostalgic time to remember and reflect and think about the fun journey that's been behind us and what's ahead of us. So before we start talking about birthday and freebies, I went shopping this weekend and I found something that I think you guys all need to see. So here it is. I found these at TJ Maxx over the weekend. They are sponges, so they're like kitchen sponges shaped like tombstones, and look at these funny names on them. We have Greasy Residue, he gone. And then we have Pile o' Plates, forever in our kitchen. And then we also have You Wash and All Dry, and his patient wife, Colleen N. Isn't that so great? I haven't taken them out of the package yet, but this is, I think, the perfect little thing after our release of the Tombstone Treats kit last week. Hopefully you guys have gotten your hands on that one, or you can still have plenty of time to do that in the future and make the most adorable treat boxes for friends and neighbors and kids and grandkids, all the things. So that is fun. All right, let's get to talking about the freebie products that you will get when you order from Tailored Expressions. This is our every order freebie during the year of 2024. We are following along with a postage theme collection. We have these postage stamps here, and we have one themed for every month of the year. So when you place any order, doesn't matter the size, you will receive a stamp, and then inside your little package, you will have a sticker so that you can label your pretty postage collection header. And these headers can be purchased separately. So if you're just tuning in, if you're new to Tailored Expressions, you can purchase the header cards. You can also purchase any of the previous month's stamps as well. If you search Pretty Postage on the website, all of these items will come up for you. And if you are collecting potentially more than one order per month, you can grab an extra collection card for that too. So this month, the month of September, since it is our birthday, we have this adorable little cake postage stamp. Look at how cute that little cake is on his little stand. It's got a cherry on top. So we're going to take this and peel the sticker backing off, and this is going to go on September. This is one of my favorite parts of the month, is collecting all of these and putting them on my cards so that it's complete every single month. So there we have September. Then you can take the stamp. It does have the backing paper still on it, so you'll just peel that backing paper off of the cling mount, and then you can place that on the back of your panel. So we have 9 stamps, 3 more months to go, and you will have a full year's collection of the pretty postage. So I am going to be using these today. I have the cake and the ice cream that are going to be perfect for my little birthday card for Maddie. And we're going to make a gift tag that also doubles as a gift card holder. So before we get into the project though, I want to show you our free gift with purchase that comes with orders of $100 or more. And this month it's a 2-part gift. So when you purchase $100 or more from the Tailored Expressions website, you will get both of these embossing folders. We have Bursting Dots and Rockin' Rhombus. So those of you who needed to look up rhombus, that is A-OK. We did too, and we named it. So yeah, this is the 2 embossing folders. They are both 2D embossing folders. They're not 3D, but they make these fun patterns that are great for lots of different things. So I can't wait to see you guys getting creative with these. Both of these will be free with your order of $100 or more. So let's show you some samples, of course. Miss Jill Hawkins, she always does a great job of showing off these products. So you can see the Rockin' Rhombus in the background of this cute little card. She also used it to emboss the pattern on the heart. And she's got that cute little kitty holding the heart. A perfect thank you card for fall. I love this color combo that she used too. And then for the other embossing folder, the Bursting Dots, you can see she created this cute little terrarium with some mushrooms in front and leaves inside the shaker element. And then the Bursting Dots creates a lovely pattern in the background to give it some texture. Super fun, huh? Love that. All right, just to give you a heads up too, because this is such a busy month at Tailored Expressions, this freebie will actually only be available for, I believe it's 2 weeks. 2 release weeks because we also have our birthday release, which will have an exclusive freebie next week. Oh, I know Whitney's eking over there because it's adorable. And then we also, it's the most wonderful time of the year. So we also have our Christmas release at the end of this month, and that will include an exclusive freebie as well. So don't wait too long. If you really want these embossing folders, then your chances are kind of early on in the month here, and then you'll have 1 week in between birthday and Christmas where you can earn these as well. So that's the scoop on all the freebies. So should we start creating? Okay, let me show you the fun projects. Here they are. So this month in our featured category, we are taking a look at tags, all about tagging. It is a month made for Heather Nichols because she is the queen of tags, but I'm gonna fill in for her today and try some tagging of my own. I made this gift card holder with some of our tagging products. So it is called Gift Card Pocket, I believe, and it's part of the tagging category because you can make it into a tag. I've got some other featured products that are in that category. We have our popular tag stacklets 4 that coordinate with this tag pocket design. And then our tag reinforcements. Those are one of our very oldest dies at Tailored Expressions, but they continue to be useful, so we keep them around. And then one of my daughter's favorite places here is called the Creamery, and she is an ice cream girl, and so we have a little gift card to the Creamery that I'm going to slip in there for her and tie it onto one of the gift bags that we have for her birthday. And then for her card, I decided to take the cake and the ice cream, little postage stamps, to create this with the big 13 in the middle to celebrate her 13th birthday. Of course, you could customize this with any of the numbers. I'm going to talk about the number die set that I use to cut those numbers out, and you can personalize that for any birthday age. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start by stamping the little postage stamps. So I need to get that out here. I'm going to have plenty of time to craft with everyone today, which is awesome. All right, I'll grab my Misty, and we can use the mini today because we're just stamping these little guys. And then I have this piece of sugar cube cardstock. Now I did some of these ahead of time because I didn't want you guys to have to watch me do all this stamping and kind of coloring. So I have a couple that I've already done up here, and we'll be using all of them. But I do want to show you the cake and the ice cream. I'm going to be coloring these with Olo markers, so I definitely want to stamp this with an alcohol-friendly ink. And our sugar cube cardstock is definitely great for coloring with alcohol markers. So our Oreo ink is a hybrid ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. I'll probably stamp it twice just to get a nice crisp dark black. And one of my little tips for coloring with alcohol markers is you don't have to do this. It kind of depends on how quickly you're moving from stamping to coloring. But since I want to color these little images right away, I'm going to hit this with my heat tool so that I can make sure that that ink is dry. And this ink, once dry, it does not smear. So you don't have to worry about that. But sometimes if you're experiencing a little bit of bleeding or smearing, it can just mean that your ink wasn't fully dry when you hit it with the alcohol marker. So let's make sure this is nice and heat set. I know a lot of people like to emboss their images because then that takes away any possibility that you'll have any kind of smearing of your ink. And if you wanted to do that, I would recommend stamping with VersaFine Clair and then pouring the clear embossing powder over the top and heating that. And then you'll have an embossed image. So like I said, am going to color with Olo markers. And I've got, these are the markers I'll be using. Hopefully you can gather those, but I've got RV, O2, and O4. We have O2.4. YO 2.2, O 4.3, OR 3.8, and then I have a 0 just in case, because these are really tiny images and sometimes I tend to go just a little bit outside the lines. So just in case I have the 0 marker to erase any of my mistakes. So let me go ahead with, we're going to color the chocolate frosting here. And I think that's my first stop. Okay, chocolate frosting on the cake. Then we'll color the yellow pieces, which the yellow is going to be the bottom of my waffle cone and also the cake part of my cake over here. I'm going to end up cutting these images out, so I'm not too concerned with what's going on outside of the image. I'm not going to color the actual outer frame. We're going to use a die cut frame. Let's do our cherry on top next, and then we'll color in the top of the ice cream with the lighter pink. This is the RV02. All right, let me hold that up so you guys can see that.
So many September birthdays.
Oh, are lots of people celebrating?
They have their birthday in September too. It's a great month.
Yay, it is. It really is. Like, I think I was not born in September, but if I could pick a month, it seems like perfect. The weather is still beautiful. It's not too hot. You have your pick of indoor or outdoor activities. It's just, it's great. All right, we're starting in with orange. I dotted the little bow on the ice cream, scoop of ice cream. He's got a bow, or she's got a little bow in her hair. All right, then we'll come in and do the pedestal of the cake here. And then I took that darker O color. This is O 4.3, and I'm just gonna kind of give this a little bit of shading on the waffle cone so it looks a little more brown than yellow, and we'll put in a little shading on the sides of the cake here. Go back over that with my yellow color to kind of draw those colors together. Hold this up for you guys so you can see how those turned out. So now we can die cut these and use just that middle part. I'm actually going to add just a little bit of highlight on the edges of this little pedestal, a little bit of shadowing there. And I did that with the darker of the pink colors. I don't think I made it outside of the lines anywhere, so I think these are good to go. I didn't need my 0 marker. All right, so to die cut these, we are going to use this die set that we released when we started the postage collection. This is called the Pretty Postage Die Set. So you can cut out the postage frames that you can put these little squares into if you don't want to color the outer frame, or you can use the large squares to cut out the entire image, or you can use the small squares to cut out the inside of your postage image so that you can put it behind the postage frame, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to use the smallest square. Let me grab my die cut machine. I'll push some of these out of the way here. And I happen to have multiple of these. So each set comes with 2 frames, 2 large squares, and 2 small squares. And I have 2 full sets here on this panel, which I think is helpful, especially if you're going to do a lot of kind of mass production with this postage theme. You might want to grab an extra set so that you can do more than 2 at a time. You can do 4, or if you get 3 sets, you can do 6. So we're just going to line this up. You'll be able to see that black line of the inside of the postage frame, and you'll just line up the die around that. And then we'll cut that out. Okay, so I have 5 little squares that are going to be adhered behind the die cut frames for the postage. And I have already die cut those pieces. I'm using a color combo of pineapple, candy corn, and bubble gum. So those are the 3 postage frame colors that I cut. And there's a couple more. So when we're ready, we'll adhere these behind those postage frames. But while I have my die cut machine out, I'm gonna go ahead and die cut the gift tag pocket. I think that one again is just called Tag Pocket 2. We used to have Tag Pocket, the original, and it was retired a few years ago, and then I missed it so much that we brought it back in a new design with that kind of hump at the top that coordinates with our Tag Stacklets 4 dies. So if you want to layer those together, Tag Stacklets 4 and the Tag Pocket 2 are coordinating products. So we'll go ahead and put this through the die cut machine. It is going to add the impress lines for us so we know where to fold this pocket to create our little tag pocket. I don't want to do that yet because I am going to stamp the front of my pocket with a design, and that's just easier to do before you fold it. So I'll set that aside. My other step is on my original tag pocket, you can see the inside, I did layer with one of the Tag Stacklets 4, so we're going to die cut that, and we're going to emboss it with the pattern that's part of that Bursting Dots embossing folder freebie. So I'm cutting this first from bubble gum. Whitney, I forgot to tell you, Henry got on the bus today.
Yay!
Yes, we didn't have any tears until he was in his seat on the bus. So we're making progress.
That is great. 2nd grade. What a way to start 2nd grade.
Yes. We went to my parents last night. Mom was asking Henry, are you ready to go back to school tomorrow? And he says, no, 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 no. So I think he wasn't quite excited to go back, but you know, he did it.
What a boy.
It's hard when you start on a Friday, and then he had that ear infection and was gone all last week, and then he went back on a Friday, and then he didn't have school Monday because of Labor Day. Okay, so I am gonna push this kind of open circle all the way down to the bottom of the tag because it ends up getting covered up by the pocket part of it. So I just want to see the rays coming out of this design. So we're going to go ahead and emboss that. I removed the die cutting pad from this, and that is the sandwich for the Big Shot, just the 2 clear cutting pads and no thin die adapter pad. All right, and here's what that looks like then. I wanted to highlight these a little bit, so I grabbed my ink pad, and you can just drag your sugar cube ink pad over the top of the embossed design, and that's gonna call it out and make it more noticeable. Just make sure you're holding your ink pad completely perpendicular to the surface, or parallel to the surface of the design, and then just lightly, no pressing, lightly rub that over the top. If you're smushing the ink pad at all, it's going to get down into the lower portions, but doesn't that look great how that's just kind of called out? You can really see that embossed design. All right, now let's do a little bit of stamping. For both my card and my little tag pocket, I'm using the Ticks and Tacks background. This is one of my all-time favorites. I've probably used it to everyone's like ad nauseum.
Get rid of it.
I know.
It's a great addition.
It looks like birthday. We originally came out with it for Father's Day because we did this beer theme, and it kind of looks like, maybe champagne bubbles, or it worked great with the beer set. I think it's just a fun background for a lot of occasions. So I pull it out a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna get the Misty out again. This time I will grab my big Misty and all right. We are going to stamp just that pocket portion of the design. So I want to set up my stamp kind of towards the top so that I have room to place this at the bottom. We'll go ahead and put that down, and then I'm going to take this like I do often with our pieces just to make sure that the entire pattern that I want gets onto the portion that I want it to. So I'm going to watch this line here where this starts to kind of go upwards, and I'm going to line that up with the bottom of the background stamp here. And then we'll put a little bit of adhesive down at the bottom, and then I can close the lid. Hopefully, if I can press it down hard enough. Nope, it's not. Oh, did it work? Let's go like this. We're going to turn it. Okay. And press that into place. It took a little bit of extra finagling, but the other option that sometimes I do when I don't feel like getting out my Misty and setting things up, I'll ink the stamp and then I'll place the paper on top of it with a piece of scratch paper that I can just rub over it with my knuckles and get it in exactly the spot where I want. But you can also set it up in your Misty. So we'll go ahead and stamp this background with sugar cube ink onto the toffee cardstock. Okay. Grab my Just Press tool. There it is. We can go ahead and fold this then onto the fold score lines, just like that. And we have our little pocket ready to go. Looks like I was a little off. So if I was looking to be perfect, there were probably some other steps I could take by stamping the background onto the grid paper first and then using that to line up my stamped image. But this doesn't have to be perfect. It's for my 13-year-old daughter. So we're gonna keep going with this one. I need to stamp another piece here that I have. This is a mini slim panel that's 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. So that is the layer for a mini slim card base. And we're gonna stamp this as well. Let me go ahead and I'm just gonna quickly wipe this background. Even though we're stamping it in the same color, I want to line my paper up on top of the stamp, so I don't want to have any ink on it, otherwise it's going to transfer to my paper before I want it to. So a quick wipe, some more adhesive up here, and then we'll place this panel over the entire background and close that down. And then we can ink it up again with the sugar cube. Almost. Susan says that she worked on her son's Eagle Scout project over the weekend. I don't know what that looks like. What is an Eagle Scout project? It kind of reminded me that we need to work on Henry's All About Me poster that he gets to present to his class about his favorite foods and favorite things.
What is his favorite food? Mashed potatoes?
We wrote zebra cakes.
Yes!
It's his favorite bribe food. When we need him to do something, that is what will get him to do it. Okay, so on this panel then, we are gonna also splatter this. You can see in my original card, I added some little bit of extra into the background with some white splatters. So I will grab my splatter box, and I had some leftover splatter from my last splatter adventure. So I'm just gonna bring that in here, and I will reactivate that with some water. So it just dried into this little palette here, and I added a few drops of water. See if I can mix that up and get it reactivated. And then we can just keep using it. I'm sure the more you activate it and the more water you add to it, the less kind of opaque it's going to look over time. So I'm not sure I would recommend like doing this a lot, but if you do have some left over from a previous session, you can always use it up in the next 1 to 2 uses, I think. But the more water you add to it, the more diluted it's going to become, and then it won't stand out on your project. All right. Let me get this out of the way. All right. So here's what that looks like. We're gonna wait for this to dry, but then I am going to add the diagonal stitch mini slim stacklets, the largest one, as a little bit of a kind of draw your eye to the center of the card, a little bit of texture around the outside. So while we're waiting for this to dry, let's go ahead and adhere some of these other parts and pieces together. I already die cut and glued together the 13. So this is die cut from our hot pink glitter cardstock, and then just sugar cube for the backer. This particular die set is one of my favorites for personalizing. It's called Just a Number. So you have the Just a Number dies, and then you have the Just a Number backer dies. And those work great for adding a personal touch to the project. So I have that finished. I also have the little vellum circle. So I'll go ahead and adhere these, and then I just kind of chopped off the bottom portion of the circle so that it wouldn't get in the way of my sentiment. So let's go ahead and adhere the 13 here. Paula asked what was the little splatter plate I was using, and that's just something I picked up for watercoloring, and I happened to grab it when I was splattering last and had some left over. I normally would use it for watercoloring, but I think it works great for splatter too. It's a ceramic dish, so it washes out nicely, and I think I might have gotten it at Hobby Lobby, I want to say. They have lots of fun little ceramic dishes. All right, we'll tuck that little part of the one underneath there. And move this around just a tad. Okay. Now if I have my paper trimmer, I can just take and trim off along the bottom of those numbers so that it's ready to set down on the project. Just like that. All right, now let's glue together some of our postage pieces. I know I've shown this on a live before, but there isn't a ton of gluing room around the outside of these. So, did I lose one already?
One of your papers?
Yeah. Can you come look around?
Yes. What are we looking for?
I had, oh, they were just piled right on top of each other.
Yay.
It's like I was supposed to have 5 of these. I know I colored the right amount. Okay, so my little tip for getting these squares adhered to the back of your postage frames is to take your fine line glue applicator. I like to use the Precision Glue Press, which is recently back in stock at the TE store. So if you don't have one yet, you can grab one now. We have multiples in the studio, so we always have one at hand. So I just apply the adhesive to the back of the postage die cut, and then you can just place it right over the top of your die cut square like this and arrange it so that the postage frame covers up the stamped black line that goes all the way around the image. Somebody asked, excuse me, if the numbers would be back in stock soon. I didn't realize those were out of stock, but I'm going to give you a little verbal sneak peek that if you like to personalize your cards with a number, you're also going to want to check out the release for our new birthday release, because we have a fun new option for that. It's not quite as big as these numbers, so I know these will still be part of my collection as I use them to personalize things like graduation year, etc. But these that are coming for our birthday release are super fun and just perfect just for birthdays. So, all right, let's finish this last one off here. I like using liquid glue for this too, because I have that little bit of wiggle time so I can get the frame perfectly in place to cover up that black line that's around the outside. Okay, so the ones that need a little foam tape on the back, we have this one on the end, so I'm going to put a piece of foam square. Then we have this end that is popped up. And then the one for the tag pocket is this one. All right, so I have foam tape on the ones that need them. I have all of these pieces put together. And now I think our panel is dry enough to go ahead with the die cutting of that border around the outside. So I'll bring my die cut machine back in. At the same time, we need to die cut that tag reinforcement that we talked about earlier. One of those kind of oldies but goodies in the collection, because we're always going to be making tags and having a reinforcer for them, especially if you're going to tie them on a gift, etc. You want them to stay. You don't want to cinch your ribbon tight and then have them rip. So all right, we're going to pull out this largest diagonal stitch mini slim stacklet and center that on top of our panel. And then we'll die cut that first. So there's that. You can see it just adds that little bit of texture. It's going to kind of draw our eye to the center of the card design when we get that all put together. Now let's go ahead and grab the tag reinforcement. I'm going to do this rounded, larger rounded loop. Got a scrap of the sugar cube here to cut that out. Somebody had asked if Tag Stacklets 1 would coordinate with the Tag Pocket 2. Was that the question?
Correct.
No, it does not. The humps are different sizes. So, but if you have the original, potentially maybe you have the original gift tag pocket or tag pocket from before it was retired, that one does coordinate with the original Tag Stacklets 1. So, but this new one coordinates with Tag Stacklets 4. Okay, I think all of our die cutting is done. Starting to look a little tornado-ish around here, Whitney. Sorry about it.
I'm up for the challenge.
Okay. There could be some cleanup after this one. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and just roughly lay things out onto the panel here and see where things go. We got pink over here. Tuck that one under. And then yellow. Doesn't have to always look exactly the same as the way you laid it out before. Sometimes that's easier to do it that way, but you don't have to. All right, something about like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. What I want to do is just make sure that I can stamp my sentiment down here at the bottom without interfering with my plans for these other pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Misty back out again, and we'll take the mini this time. I think the mini will still fit my mini slim card panel here. We want that panel to stay down in place there. The stamp set that I'm going to be using for the happy birthday sentiment is called Boho Hellos. It has that longer happy birthday that's going to fit perfectly underneath these numbers. So I will go ahead and place it down there. I want to make sure it's placed above my diagonal stitching, because that would interfere with the stamp wording, and then centered from left to right in the open space. And then let me grab one of my panels. This one is not going to be the right size because it's just what I have here on my table, but we have these grid alignment panels. This one doesn't have a grid on it, but we have them specifically sized for the mini Misty as well. But all I want to do with this is just make sure that when I stamp my sentiment that it is straight. So I want to try to get it as straight as I can before I stamp. And then I'll take the VersaFine Clair. We can place this little piece over the top and go ahead and stamp that down. All right, it didn't stamp perfectly, but that's okay. We have confirmed that it is straight. That was the purpose. Now I'm going to remove that piece and we'll go ahead and stamp this again. Stamp it a couple times, sometimes over the top of the splatter or the sugar cube ink. You want to stamp that black just a couple times. Okay, let's take that out. And this guy is pretty much ready to assemble, along with, let me pull out all my pieces now. We're in the final home stretch. I have this that I already pre-cut just to save some time, but this is from our Rainbow Bright 3 die set. I use the same colors that I told you before. We've got bubblegum, candy corn, and pineapple. And then I'm just going to adhere that over the front of the piece. If you're looking for a little tip to hold these together, a lot of times I'll use teal tape on the back to just make sure they stay as one piece while I'm gluing them onto my project. And the adhesive doesn't stick really well to the teal tape, so I'm going to put tape runner on part of it and then a little bit of liquid glue as well. And we'll just position that about where I want it. That looks pretty good. before I glue the sides together, I will take my piece that we embossed, the little tag that fits inside here, and we can adhere that. Just layering it nicely inside. Before I lose this piece, I'm going to grab my tag reinforcement and I will fold it in half. There is a little kind of impress line that helps you fold these in half like this. And we'll put some adhesive on each side and then wrap this around the top of the tag pocket, just like this. Don't worry, we will get rid of that kind of center piece on the pocket so that we have a hole there to tie some ribbon through. I have just a regular office-sized hole punch, which lines up with the size of the tag reinforcements, and I can just put that right in there and punch the hole all the way through so we can tie our ribbon. Now let me grab my scissors and we will trim off the excess from this. Okay. Now to adhere your tag pocket together, you can add adhesive on here. You can use liquid glue. If you'd prefer, you can use sticky tape, like 1/4 inch sticky tape. You can also probably get away with tape runner. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that liquid glue here and fold that up into place. Hold that down for just a little bit, or we can use our magnets. Let's do that. Let's move it out of the way though. All right, we'll use our magnets to hold down that piece while it is adhering. All right, then I have this. I'm gonna put a little bit of foam tape on the back of the 13 here. I will grab my foam squares and we'll cut down a few of these pieces. I saw some people are working on Christmas cards. Some of you have lots of September birthdays you'll be working on. That's the thing about birthdays, and what I love about our birthday release every year is I don't have to wonder, am I going to use these things? Because birthdays, they're just something as card makers that we're always either creating for our stash so we have one on hand, or we're always creating for whatever birthdays we have in our family. I feel like there's not really a better time to tell somebody you're thinking of them than their birthday. All right.
You know me, I love sending cards.
You do.
And birthday is the best.
Birthday.
I just tell them how much they're loved, and I get all gushy in my birthday cards. You get gushy? No, you're not.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Probably.
Get gushy for your Maddie?
Probably. I was just thinking I'll probably say things that embarrass her. She doesn't like me to say that, you know, she's growing up into such a wonderful young lady. She's like, don't call me a lady. Don't call me a young woman. She's not quite ready to be there yet, but all right. We'll put that down, center that over the sentiment, leaving us with equal space on each side. All right, then we've got the yellow and the orange on this side. I like to kind of get them all in place and then go back and adhere them. I feel like it just makes me feel better that I've planned for where I think things are gonna go, and then maybe I want you to go that way and you to go that way. Okay. All right, we'll do this one first, and sometimes this is my not very like exacting way of gluing things down, but once I have it in place and I know I like where it's at, I'll just stick my glue under there and kind of squirt some glue and then tack it down without actually having to pick it up. Then I know it stays where I want it. All right, little orange guy, you are gonna hang slightly off the edge over here. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. I'm just gonna hold this in place, open this up, we'll put a little bit of adhesive on there and stick it right back down. And then we have this one. And he was turned a little bit this way. There we go. I have my card base, which is dragon fruit, and I'm kind of pulling in the dragon fruit because that's the same color as the hot pink letter or numbers that I cut the 13 out of. And I'm going to adhere this whole panel down with the thin foam sticky strips, or thin foam strips, I think. Our 1x3 foam strips are perfect for this, and the thin doesn't add much extra, but gives it that little bit of dimension and some nice stability. Then we'll finish up our gift tag pocket, and this will be good. I just realized I'm ending with two cards for, I have a card for another 13-year-old. I have to save it for Charlie.
True.
I'm sure by then I'll want to make her something different. Cute, cute. All right. Let's pick this up, make sure that our adhesive's stuck down. Looks good. Our gift card can fit in the center there. Then I have my last little postage stamp. Put over the center of my swirl. And then I've got some ribbon here. This is just ribbon that we all have a collection, right? I think just ribbon from my collection of years and years of being a card maker. And we'll fold those two ends in half. Put that through the back. And then pull the loop through the front. So you put those back in and you pull it. Oh, I did it backwards. It's like I have to remember every time. Okay, so we're gonna put the folded loop through the front. That is one thing I don't do as often, and I always have to remind myself or do it wrong and then realize. So you want that kind of loop to look nice in the front. So now when you pull it tight, you have that nice knotted piece at the front instead of the back. And then that's what you can use to tie it on. So there we have it. Two of everything.
Woo woo!
Now, if I was Susan, I would have to use both of them because she's got two girls.
I know.
Okay, you guys. Was it a fun day? I hope so. I do want to tell you that Susan will be here on Thursday, and she's got a fun project that also kind of features as we lead up to our gift, our birthday release. We've got some more gift tags and birthday ideas for you. So I hope you'll tune in on Thursday, and then definitely mark your calendar for next week on Tuesday. We will be doing our big birthday release. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.